first time heavily chief played for Joe Biden. Joseph Robinette Biden will be the 46th president of the United States. He was congratulated as Mr. President. He will officially become president in about 9.5 minutes at noon as he's giving the address. We saw Dr. Jill Biden overcome with emotion in that moment. Who wouldn't be? David Muir, the quest of a lifetime for Joe Biden.
George, this was the ultimate long game. He was elected to the Senate at 29, the youngest. Will now be sworn in as the oldest president. He has waited and he has dreamed of this moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, please
so
be
many
seated.
years. He has told me the president's job is to heal, that the country needs healing, and he told me the words of a president matter.
Dr. Joe Biden there, First Lady of the United States. The bells at Howard University will now ring 49 times before the inaugural address.
Okay, I know what I did wrong. Sorry, there's J-Lo. Talk about tape delay. Okay, let's go back to Joe Biden right now. Hold on. Sorry, we had a tiny bit of technical difficulties. There we go. There we go.
Americans, a moment we have all been waiting for. It is now my great
Amy Klobuchar
and high honor to be the first person to officially introduce the 46th President of the United States, Joseph R. Biden, Jr.
No mask? Wait a minute. I thought his whole thing was if he was the president, he was going to wear a mask.
Chief Justice Roberts, Vice President Harris.
What's up, Denny?
Speaker Pelosi, Leader Schumer, Leader McConnell.
Leader Schumer.
Vice President Pence, my distinguished guests, my fellow Americans. This is America's day. This is democracy's day. A day of history and hope, of renewal and resolve. Through a crucible for the ages, America has been tested anew, and America has risen to the challenge. Today, we celebrate the triumph not of a candidate, but of a cause, the cause of democracy. The people, the will of the people has been heard, and the will of the people has been heeded. We've learned again that democracy is precious. Democracy is fragile. And at this hour, my friends, democracy has prevailed. So now, on this hallowed ground where just a few days ago, violence sought to shake the Capitol's very foundation, we come together as one nation, under God, indivisible, to carry out the peaceful transfer of power as we have for more than 2 centuries. As we look ahead in our uniquely American way, restless, bold, optimistic, and set our sights on the nation we know we can be and we must be. I thank my predecessors of both parties for their presence here today. I thank them from the bottom of my heart. And I know the resilience of our Constitution and the strength the strength of our nation, as does President Carter, who I spoke with last night, who cannot be with us today, but whom we salute for his lifetime in service. I've just taken the sacred oath each of those patriots have taken. The oath first sworn by George Washington. But the American story depends not on any one of us, not on some of us, but on all of us, on we the people who seek a more perfect union. This is a great nation. We're good people. And over the centuries, through storm and strife, in peace and in war, we've come so far, but we still have far to go. We'll press forward with speed and urgency, for we have much to do in this winter of peril.
That dude was putting some work in on his mask. Did you see his poor ears?
Much to restore, much to heal, much to build, and much to gain. Few people in our nation's history have been more challenged or found a time more challenging or difficult than the time we're in now. Once-in-a-century virus that silently stalks the country. It's taken as many lives in 1 year as America lost in all of World War II. Millions of jobs have been lost. Hundreds of thousands of businesses closed. A cry for racial justice, some 400 years in the making, moves us. The dream of justice for all will be deferred no longer. A cry for survival comes from the planet itself. A cry that can't be any more desperate or any more clear. And now, a rise of political extremism, white supremacy, domestic terrorism that we must confront and we will defeat. To overcome these challenges, to restore the soul and secure the future of America, requires so much more than words. It requires the most elusive of all things in a democracy: unity. Unity. In another January, on New Year's Day in 1863, Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation. When he put pen to paper, the president said, and I quote, "If my name ever goes down into history, it'll be for this act, and my whole soul is in it." My whole soul is in it. Today, on this January day, my whole soul is in this. Bringing America together, uniting our people, uniting our nation. And I ask every American to join me in this cause.
He got me too, Sarah.
To fight the foes we face.
I wasn't even hooked up, but all of a sudden they're like, Joe
hatred,
Biden. Like,
extremism, lawlessness, violence, disease, joblessness, and hopelessness. With unity, we can do great things, important things. We can right wrongs. We can put people to work in good jobs. We can teach our children in safe schools. We can overcome the deadly virus. We can reward work and rebuild the middle class and make healthcare secure for all. We can deliver racial justice, and we can make America once again the leading force for good in the world. I know speaking of unity can sound to some like a foolish fantasy these days. I know the forces that divide us are deep and they are real. But I also know they are not new. Our history has been a constant struggle between the American
Heck yeah, Marlon. Good to see you in here. What's up, Paul?
And
Erica,
harsh,
Nina,
ugly reality
Finda.
that racism,
I'll see you guys.
nativism, fear, demonization have long torn us apart. The battle is perennial, and victory is never assured. Through Civil War, the Great Depression, World War, 9/11, Through struggle, sacrifice, and setbacks, our better angels have always prevailed.
Think how many people
In
right
each of
now are
these
going,
moments, enough
wow,
of
Joe
us,
Biden's giving a good
enough
speech,
of us
because they've been
have
led to
come
believe
together
that he was
to carry
incoherent
all
and
of this
couldn't
forward.
talk.
And we can do that now. History, faith, and reason show the way of unity. We can see each other not as adversaries, but as neighbors. We can treat each other with dignity and respect. We can join forces, stop the shouting, and lower the temperature.
So, David,
For without unity, there is no peace, only bitterness and fury. No progress,
he said bitterness and
only
fury.
exhausting outrage.
So I'm gonna name my next two
No
cats.
nation, only a state of chaos. This is our historic moment of crisis and challenge, and unity is the path forward. And we must meet this moment as the United States of America. If we do that, I guarantee you we will not fail. We have never, ever, ever, ever failed in America. We've acted together. And so today, at this time, in this place, let's start afresh, all of us. Let's begin to listen to one another again, hear one another, see one another, show respect to one another. Politics doesn't have to be a raging fire, destroying everything in its path. Every disagreement doesn't have to be a cause for total war. And we must reject the culture in which facts themselves are manipulated and even manufactured. My fellow Americans, we have to be different than this. America has to be better than this. And I believe America is so much better than this. Just look around. Here we stand in the shadow of the Capitol Dome, as was mentioned earlier, completed amid the Civil War, when the Union itself was literally hanging in the balance. Yet we endured. We prevailed. Here we stand, looking out on the Great Mall, where Dr. King spoke of his dream. Here we stand, where 108 years ago, at another inaugural, thousands of protesters tried to block brave women marching for the right to vote. And today, we mark the swearing in of the first woman in American history elected to national office, Vice President Kamala Harris. Don't tell me things can't change. Here we stand, across the Potomac from Arlington Cemetery, where heroes who gave the last full measure of devotion rest in eternal peace. And here we stand, just days after a riotous mob thought they could use violence to silence the will of the people, to stop the work of our democracy, to drive us from this sacred ground. It did not happen. It will never happen. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. Not ever.
Tell him, Joe.
All those who supported our campaign, I'm humbled by the faith you've placed in us. To all those who did not support us, let me say this. Hear me out as we move forward. Take a measure of me and my heart.
I'll be like in your
If you
face.
still disagree, so be it. That's democracy. That's America. The right to dissent peaceably within the guardrails of our republic is perhaps this nation's greatest strength. Yet hear me clearly. Disagreement must not lead to disunion. And I pledge this to you. I will be a president for all Americans. All Americans. And I promise you, I will fight as hard for those who did not support me as for those who did.
Man, I can't lie. That fool needs to put on a football
Many
helmet.
centuries ago, St. Augustine, a saint of my church, wrote that a people was a multitude defined by the common objects of their love. Defined by the common objects of their love. What are the common objects we as Americans love that define us as Americans? I think we know. Opportunity, security, liberty, dignity, respect, honor, and yes, the truth.
The truth.
Recent weeks and months have taught us a painful lesson. There is truth and there are lies. Lies told for power and for profit. And each of us has a duty and a responsibility.
He said duty.
As citizens, as Americans, and especially as leaders. Leaders who have pledged to honor our Constitution and protect our nation. To defend the truth and defeat the lies. Look.
Yo, Joe Biden's the man right now.
That many of my fellow Americans view the future.
Was King David perfect? No,
trepidation.
but he slayed the giant
I
Goliath.
understand they worry about their jobs. I understand, like my dad, they lay a bed.
Oh,
wondering,
shit. Damn, I thought they got Joe Biden.
Pay my mortgage.
I thought they got him.
Thinking about their families, about what comes next. I promise you, I get it. But the answer is not to turn inward, to retreat into competing factions, distrusting those who don't look like you, or worship the way you do, or don't get their news from the same sources you do. We must end this uncivil war that pits red against blue, rural versus urban, or rural versus urban, conservative versus liberal.
They're like, oh, he just cleared his throat. He's dumb. He's got dementia. He's going to sniff you.
Instead of hardening our hearts, if we show a little tolerance and humility, and if we're willing to stand in the other person's shoes, as my mom would say, just for a moment, stand in their shoes. Because here's the thing about life. There's no accounting for what fate will deal you. Some days, when you need a hand. There are other days when we're called to lend a hand. That's how it has to be. It's what we do for one another. And if we are this way, our country will be stronger, more prosperous, more ready for the future. And we can still disagree. My fellow Americans.
Look, his hair does the same thing as Donald Trump's in the back.
We're going to need each other. We need all our strength to persevere through this dark winter. We're entering what may be the toughest and deadliest period of the virus. We must set aside politics and finally face this pandemic as one nation. One nation. And I promise you this, as the Bible says, weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. We will get through this together. Together. Look, folks, all my colleagues I serve with in the House and the Senate up here, we all understand the world is watching all of us today. So here's my message to those beyond our borders. America has been tested, and we've come out stronger for it. We will repair our alliances and engage with the world once again. Not to meet yesterday's challenges, but today's and tomorrow's challenges. And we'll lead not merely by the example of our power, but by the power of our example. We'll be a strong and trusted partner for peace, progress, and security. Look, you all know we've been through so much in this nation. And my first act as president, I'd like to ask you to join me in a moment of silent prayer. Remember all those who we lost in this past year to the pandemic. Those 400,000 fellow Americans, moms, dads, husbands, wives, sons, daughters, friends, neighbors, and coworkers. We'll honor them by becoming the people and the nation we know we can and should be. So I ask you, let's say a silent prayer for those who've lost their lives and those left behind, and for our country. Amen. Folks, this is a time of testing. We face an attack on our democracy and on truth, a raging virus, growing inequity, the sting of systemic racism, a climate in crisis, America's role in the world. Any one of these would be enough to challenge us in profound ways. But the fact is, we face them all at once, presenting this nation with one of the gravest responsibilities we've had. Now we're going to be tested. Are we going to step up, all of us? It's time for boldness, for there's so much to do. And this is certain. I promise you, we will be judged, you and I, by how we resolve these cascading crises of our era. We will rise to the occasion is the question. Will we master this rare and difficult hour? Will we meet our obligations and pass along a new and better world to our children? I believe we must. I'm sure you do as well. I believe we will. And when we do, we'll write the next great chapter in the history of the United States of America, the American story. A story that might sound something like a song that means a lot to me. It's called American Anthem. There's one verse that stands out, at least for me, and it goes like this. The work and prayers of century have brought us to this day. What shall be our legacy? What will our children say? Let me know in my heart when my days are through. America, America, I gave my best to you. Let's us add our own work and prayers to the unfolding story of our great nation. If we do this, then when our days are through, our children and our children's children will say of us, they gave their best. They did their duty. They healed the broken land. My fellow Americans, I close the day where I began, with the sacred oath.
Yo, this is a top 10 speech of all time.
All of you, I give you my word. I will always level with you. I will defend the Constitution. I'll defend our democracy. I'll defend America. And I'll give all of you, keep everything I do in your service, thinking not of power, but of possibilities, not of personal interest, but the public good. And together, we shall write an American story of hope, not fear, of unity, not division, of light, not darkness, a story of decency and dignity, love and healing, greatness and goodness. May this be the story that guides us, the story that inspires us, and the story that tells ages yet to come that we answered the call of history. We met the moment. Democracy and hope, truth and justice did not die on our watch, but thrived. That America secured liberty at home and stood once again as a beacon to the world. That is what we owe our forebears, one another, and generation to follow. So, with purpose and resolve, we turn to those tasks of our time, sustained by faith, driven by conviction, and devoted to one another and the country we love with all our hearts. May God bless America, and may God protect our troops. Thank you, America.
The inaugural address of Joseph Robinette Biden, now 46th president.
Damn, Joe Biden just dropped, like, considering the ramifications and the circumstances and the situations, Joe Biden just dropped a top 10 speech in the history of man.
And action.
I mean, I ain't lying. Like,
2 weeks ago,
that dude didn't flub. He accidentally said rural versus rural once.
It's fragile, it's precious, but it has.
Look at Mike Pence. Like, damn.
As I said, he called
Today would be a
Americans
good day to
act.
come
He
out the
keeps
closet,
saying
Mike Pence.
we can't harden our hearts. We
You're
must
looking
open
at-
our souls. Put each other.
Mike Pence is looking at Joe Biden the way
chooses
A-Rod looks at J-Lo.
Perform Amazing Grace.
Okay, now what's coming up? What's up, Marlon? Oh, dude. I keep waiting for the sleeper cell phrase. Why is Bane coming out? Batman, you merely grew up at the White House. Hold on, let me figure this out. I think I'm stuck playing this show. Garth Brooks and Jake Neely is playing the horn.
Amazing grace.
There, everybody looks like a potential bomber in the back.
The sound.
Yo, what if Mike Pence is working on a redemption story? You know, that's the thing, man. This world always just wants perfect people to save them.
I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. When we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've no less days to sing God's praise than when we first begun. If I can ask you to sing this last verse with me, not just the people here, but the people at home, at work, as one, united. Amazing grace.
Sing it at home, y'all.
How sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
Garth Brooks, Amazing Grace.
Do y'all believe in redemption stories?
Unite America.
You have to. You have to. That's the only way that we're going to get through this, is if people believe in redemption stories.
We'll now hear a poem.
Is it possible for people to be galvanized by a traumatic situation that forced them to rise?
Former President Bill Clinton.
Everybody believes that the Grinch who stole Christmas
Guess he can't help himself.
can become a good guy, but
Roy Blunt.
can Joe Biden become a good guy?
Hard not to be reminded of President Obama's.
Can Mike
singing
Pence
that same
become a
song
good
at
guy?
Mother Emanuel Church,
Only if they're allowed to be.
a song that in our culture is as close to both poetry and prayer as you could possibly come.
America.
And we're going to finish
needs
with those two
the
things.
redemption
Let me introduce
story.
Amanda Gorman, our nation's first ever National Poet Laureate.
Oh, man. Poet? Oh, dude. I know. Oh, I was going to say, I know they ain't just bringing some white dude up here. This better be a black woman speaking. Damn, I almost got mad for a sec. All right, let me get out the way. I'm not going to cut off a black woman at this point in history. Hold on, y'all. Soak it up. This is Coffee and Bong Hits.
Mr. President, Dr. Biden, Madam Vice President, Mr. Emhoff, Americans, and the world. When day comes, we ask ourselves, where can we find light in this never-ending shade? The loss we carry, a sea we must wade. We've braved the belly of the beast. We've learned that quiet isn't always peace, and the norms and notions of what just isn't always just is. And yet the dawn is ours before we knew it. Somehow we do it. Somehow we've weathered and witnessed a nation that isn't broken, but simply unfinished. We, the successors of a country and a time where a skinny Black girl descended from slaves and raised by a single mother can dream of becoming president, only to find herself reciting for one. And yes, we are far from polished, far from pristine, but that doesn't mean we are striving to form a union that is perfect. We are striving to forge our union with purpose, to compose a country committed to all cultures, colors, characters, and conditions of man. And so we lift our gazes not to what stands between us, but what stands before us. We close the divide because we know to put our future first. We must first put our differences aside. We lay down our arms so we can reach out our arms to one another. We seek harm to none and harmony for all. Let the globe, if nothing else, say this is true. That even as we grieved, we grew, that even as we hurt, we hoped, that even as we tired, we tried, that we'll forever be tied together, victorious, not because we will never again know defeat, but because we will never again sow division. Scripture tells us to envision that everyone shall sit under their own vine and fig tree, and no one shall make them afraid. If we're to live up to our own time, then victory won't lie in the blade, but in all the bridges we've made. That is the promised glade, the hill we climb, if only we dare it, because being American is more than a pride we inherit. It's the past we step into and how we repair it. We've seen a force that would shatter our nation rather than share it, would destroy our country if it meant delaying democracy. And this effort very nearly succeeded. But while democracy can be periodically delayed, it can never be permanently defeated. In this truth, in this faith we trust, for while we have our eyes on the future, history has its eyes on us. This is the era of just redemption. We feared it in its inception. We did not feel prepared to be the heirs of such a terrifying hour, but within it we found the power to author a new chapter, to offer hope and laughter to ourselves. So, while once we asked, how could we possibly prevail over catastrophe? Now we assert, how could catastrophe possibly prevail over us? We will not march back to what was, but move to what shall be, a country that is bruised but whole, benevolent but bold, fierce and free. We will not be turned around or interrupted by intimidation, because we know our inaction and inertia will be the inheritance of the next generation. Our blunders become their burdens. But one thing is certain: if we merge mercy with might and might with right, then love becomes our legacy and change our children's birthright. So let us leave behind a country better than the one we were left. With every breath from my bronze-pounded chest, we will raise this wounded world into a wondrous one. We will rise from the gold-limbed hills of the west. We will rise from the wind-swept northeast, where our forefathers first realized revolution. We will rise from the lake-rimmed cities of the Midwestern states. We will rise from the sun-baked south. We will rebuild, reconcile, and recover, and every known nook of our nation, in every corner called our country, our people diverse and beautiful will emerge battered and beautiful. When day comes, we step out of the shade, aflame and unafraid. The new dawn blooms as we free it. For there is always light if only we're brave enough to see it. If only.
Why poets always got to
brave
write
enough
such long poems?
to be it.
Wow.
That was a fantastic poem.
National debut.
What an honor.
Most of us will remember where we were when we heard Joe Biden take the oath of office, give his inaugural address. We will all remember when we heard Amanda Gorman speak to the world as America's first National Youth Poet Laureate.
Gorman. Now for our benediction, I'm pleased to introduce Reverend Dr. Sylvester Beeman, the pastor of the Bethel.
Man, it's so crazy.
Methodist Episcopal
They just
Church
brought
in
Garth
Delaware.
Brooks out. Like, okay, I know that you guys just got totally crushed and you're all super mad, but hey, here's Garth Brooks. And then all the rednecks are just like, well, that does make it a little bit better, I guess. I do love me some Garth Brooks. Who's this dude? What?
As a nation and people of faith gathered in this historical moment, let us unite in prayer.
Oh,
God,
man, they tricked
we
us.
gather under the beauty of your holiness and the holiness of your beauty. We seek your face, your smile, your warm embrace. We petition
This is
you,
what I always
Lord,
do in church
more
too.
in this
I always look
celebration.
around, see who else is
We pray
praying.
for divine favor upon our
Put my head
president,
back down.
Joseph R. Biden, and our First Lady, Dr.
I do this
Jill
out of
Biden,
respect,
and their family.
not because I think that
We further
a preacher
ask
from Washington, D.C.
that
is
you
going to help the
extend
country,
same favor
or particularly Joe
upon
Biden.
our Vice
I
President,
just don't like to be rude.
Kamala D. Harris, and our second gentleman, Doug Emhoff, and their family.
Dear Lord,
More than ever,
bless this
more than
planet, though, for real.
they in our nation need you.
You love this planet so much, God, you gave us a
We
fake
need
moon.
you, for in you we
You made a
discover
rainbow,
our
Lord,
common
because
humanity.
after you tried to
In our
kill
common
Noah's
humanity,
family and all the
we will
other
seek out
humans,
the
you love the
wounded
smell of his barbecue,
and
Lord.
bind their wounds.
Please, Lord, give
We
us
will
another
seek
rainbow
healing for
because you love
those who are
barbecues.
sick and diseased. We will mourn our dead. We will befriend the lonely, the least.
Well,
and the
okay,
left
I
out.
can't do this part no more.
Share our abundance with
I
those who
can't
are
do this
hungry.
part no more.
just
We're gonna change up. We're gonna we're gonna change it up. Let me show some of you guys. Hold on. Yo, Joe Biden, don't forget you only look cool because man, yeah. Yeah, I ain't feeling it like that. Y'all ready for this shit? Here we go. Let's start the show. I mean, that was cool. Yo, you have to believe in a redemption story, though. You have to believe in a redemption story. If you don't, then that means that America is doomed. That means that there is no hope for this country, right? So, okay, look, if you're listening to this on a podcast provider, please go leave us a review. If you are watching this on YouTube at a later date, I don't care if you leave a review. Nobody watches this shit on YouTube. With Rajim.
I don't got a suit, I got shooters. I know I'm cooler than the cooler. I know this way you keep your alcohol. I know that I'm out the ball. All of my niggas is savages. Mean up the phone like some scavengers. I know that imply I got passengers.
I love Jesus Christ and Bible passages.
Girl so fly, she have a Merlin. She love the majesty like Merlin. And the boss like a Laker.
Irvin.
Should've kept it clean like this.
Detergent.
Shit, I done let the
At the bag. At the sag.
Let it breathe.
Get some air.
Baby, please, I'm already.
What 'em up, what 'em up. This is Coffee and Bong Hits with Jessie. I am Jessie. And if you showed up late, you missed the inauguration of Joe Biden. And if you're curious, that dude is still praying that same prayer that he was praying when I made the executive decision. When I made the executive decision to cut that dude off because he was praying too much. When you're like, dear Lord Jesus, thank you for saving Noah's family when you killed everybody else. All right, my man Dave Miller from Think Out Loud on OPB says, what does President Joe Biden's inauguration mean to you? You guys remember when I was on Think Out Loud? When I was running for mayor, I was on Think Out Loud and they asked, Dave Miller asked us all, he goes, pot or Pinot Noir? And everybody went around and asked if they would rather smoke pot or drink wine. And I just pulled out my vape pen and just stuck it in my pocket. I was like, pot. That was a good time. Yo, so here's the deal, man. Is Joe Biden a piece of crap? Yeah. Was King David a piece of crap? Yeah. Was George Washington a piece of crap? Yes. Every single person who's done everything, it was not perfect. There's been very few perfect people in this world, man. But if you need the world to be saved, you're going to have to believe in the power of redemption. You're going to have to believe that somebody can be better. Yo, check this out, man. You know what? Don't check it out. Just stay stupid. Let's keep moving. 11 Films. Yo, we got to give 11 Films, honestly. Wow, Cameron Whitten showed up on my tweets. Hey, Cameron. Look, though, first of all, shout out to Cameron Whitten for everything he did with the Black Resiliency Fund so far. And already, yeah, and will do. I'm trying to say that as nice as I can. Look, 11 Films made some of the dopest videos and commercials and pieces of good guy propaganda. It wasn't even fair, man. Like the good guys would have these dope ass videos, right? The good guys would have these incredible videos, and the bad guys would just have this manifesto written in all caps. Only true patriots will share this. And I think I know who. And that was their marketing strategy, was to go into threads that didn't have anything to do with the subject matter and just start typing Trump 2020 everywhere. Just Trump 2020, Trump 2020. I read this one this morning. One of my dearest friends in the world is brainwashed. I woke up this morning. Her Facebook post was all caps. It said, this is by a Democrat who is a lawyer and lives in Sedona, Arizona. Why would she lie? And then it said, hey, America, I hope you like refugees kicking you right square in the butthole. I hope you like homeless people climbing in through your mail slot and devouring your children and then taking all their Teletubby toys because they're coming for you. There's a caravan of refugees right now coming from Guatemala so they can get the free buffet at Joe Biden's inauguration. I think I know who will share this. And people really share that. People really do. There's a whole planet full of numbskulls, man. But you know what? I believe in the redemption of the numbskulls. The same as I believe in the redemption of intelligent people to be better intelligent people. I believe in the power of numbskulls to be less numbskully. How's that? Y'all say I don't believe in you, man. Shout out to 11 Films. Shout out to Cameron Whitten. Yo, shout out to Brian. Oh, man. Okay, let me see. We're going to keep it moving. Less prayer, more poetry, please. That's what I'm saying. Can we get a head nod? Look. Oh, Garth Brooks. Close his tab. That's so funny. They just drug out Garth Brooks. Like, hey, I know y'all hillbillies is mad as shit, but here's Garth Brooks. And everybody's just like early Kyler. Like, oh shit, Garth Brooks. Well, I guess it's gonna be okay then, Cletus. Hee-haw. All right, yo. Shout out to Brenda. Here's a quote from 1922 Reader Digest. Good faith with the reader is a foundation of all journalism worthy of the name. By every consideration of good faith, a newspaper is constrained to be truthful. Now, you know, that's what Joe Biden said. He said, what is America like? The truth. I'm going to give it to Joe Biden, though. Seriously. I woke up this morning like, man, screw Joe Biden. He's nothing but a size 11 boot compared to a size 14 clown shoe. Like, I had a clown shoe on my neck, and now I have Joe Biden's nice wingtip loafer on my neck. Jack, want to have a push-up contest? Like, it doesn't do a whole bunch, man. Remember this, Joe Biden is a multiple time loser politician, man. Now, was I willing to overlook a lot of the shit Joe Biden has done in the past because I believe in a redemption story and because I believe that a person can be better and that a person can learn and that a person can be galvanized and fortified by trials and by overcoming obstacles? It happens in movies all the time where like a reluctant bad guy like Magneto. Look, do you believe in Magneto possibly being redeemable? Well, Professor X did. Look, Magneto killed a gang of people and Professor X would still play a game of chess with him. Be like, listen, Eric. And he'd be like, Charles, you don't know. I'm going to kill more people. And he's like, well, I've fallen for this enough times now, Eric. Well, I don't mind falling for it one more time. And kind of fuck Professor. Damn, I don't know how far I got into the show before I just said the F word, but I still haven't said the L word, so we're doing cool. Anyways, this is Coffee and Bong Hits, and we just ran right through the stop sign. Sorry. We lost track of time. Hold up. You know what this means. Bottom of the hour. Red Panda taking 4 bowls to the head. What? You know, Joe Biden really dropped the ball by not having Red Panda as part of all the festivities. I'm Joe Biden. And now Red Panda. People would have went nuts. They would have went bananas. Oh, that would have been so dope. I'm Joe Biden. Ladies and gentlemen, Red Panda. And Red Panda just comes out just on fire. Oh, man. Okay, let's see what else is going on. People miss being lied to in an eloquent manner. There's a great point right there. Hey, it's true. What do they say? If you're going to screw me, take me out to dinner or whatever. What does Cobra Commander have to say? Don't forget about the original programming on urbansurvivorman.com always.
People always ask me, Cobra Commander, what is the true spirit of Halloween? And I call them fools. But tonight, I will tell you on our special, Cobra Commander discovers the secret meaning of Halloween. Only on urbansurvivorman.com. Tune in tonight, fools.
Word them up, word them up, word them up. Let's keep it pushing. This is Coffee and Bong Hits. Oh, look, Joe Biden's actual Twitter. Look, man, what kind of world do we live in? Joe Biden has to push his own inauguration on his Twitter. That's what I do, Joe Biden. You don't rise to the level of presidential by putting your own promo on your own Twitter. Look, he said, tune in for Inauguration 2021. That's basically what I did. Why didn't you just put your YouTube link up, Joe Biden? Oh, look. This is cool. There's former First Lady Michelle Obama with super shiny hair, looking nice. Whoa. What is that up at the top? JCCIC. What is that? JCCIC. I'm going to look it up real quick. JCCIC. JCCIC. Oh, the Joint Congressional Committee on Inaugural Ceremonies. That's dope. Brought to you by the Joint Congressional Committee on Inaugural Ceremonies. Since 1901, and in accordance with the 20th Amendment of the United States Constitution, the Joint Congressional Committee on Inaugural Ceremonies has been responsible for the planning and execution of the inaugural ceremonies of the President-elect and Vice President-elect of the United States at the Capitol. That is directly from their website. So, man, get Joe Biden out of there. Look, why are all these people just, you got a mask? All right, well, let's shake hands. All right, let's half hug. Come on, this is a super spreader event. I mean, just because it's a Democratic super spreader event, they're wearing masks, but it's still a super spreader event. You can't take that away from it. Like, there's just people everywhere. If this was a bunch of rappers in Portland, you'd be like, damn, that's a sleeper event. Or a sleeper event, a super spreader event. You know, so as we were talking earlier about the redemption story, it's important to understand that America is a piece of crap. We've been a piece of crap for 500 years. But we can be better. I believe that. I don't believe that the only way for us to sustain is to exploit everything. But right now, whether it's the exploitation of other countries' resources, our own people, right now, that's our model. That's our business model. Look, George Bush, he's like, yo, fools, I'm out of here before I get shot. I've been to parties like this. George and Laura, they're like, hey, we ain't sticking around to get shot. Audi 5000, G. That was dope. And then here's another picture of George and Laura Bush. Now, I think that's actually Benjamin Franklin and his wife. So I don't know what they're saying right here. Not since 1927 has any president ever dipped out as fast as George Bush did. Barack Obama's like, I'll stick around a little bit longer. Okay, what's going on? Here we go. And every Republican that incited them and abetted their treason should go to prison. Bro, if that ain't the truth, I don't mean they should go to prison because George Bush is like, yo, I've been to enough parties to know when somebody's done that much cocaine, they're going to shoot somebody. Laura's like, George. Actually, George probably wants to stay, but Laura has seen enough time. She's like, George, we're not in college anymore. He's like, God damn it, Laura. I stayed awake my entire junior year. I didn't sleep once. She's like, I know, George. Let's go home. We'll run you a bath. He's like, can I paint? So the people who conducted the shortest civil war in the history of America, which lasted about the Civil War, the Second Civil War, the rise of the Confederates, that lasted about 2 hours. I don't see any reports of any damage, any incitement. Nobody stopped the election. I don't see any violence happening in any state capitals. It all looks normal to me everywhere. I'm strolling through the Twitter. You're going with me, right? We're looking through here. I don't see nothing. Look, everybody's happy to see Vince. We're always happy to see Vince, man. We're even more happy to see Vince inside the YouTube party. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. So what should happen to these people, man? I think they should be branded. That's what I think. You should just be branded with, they should paint the top of your head red, and they should like put some letters on it, like M H. Man, you know how mad those guys are right now? Do you know how many half full bush lights are just being thrown across living rooms across America? How many people have already stubbed their toe just kicking a kicking a case of Bud Light without their cowboy boots on? How many people are just taking their cowboy hats and throwing them? Oh, man. These people are so mad, but it's all good, right? Because we gave them some Garth Brooks. Okay. Oh, man. Look, damn, Jen Eric just said it. It's time for the Southern District of New York to get, yeah, right. Here we go. Are you ready for a kinder, gentler fascism? Yo, there's two kinds of people, man. The kind of people that get excited on Christmas for a minute because they think Santa really came and made it extra fancy. And then there's the people that know it was still just your parents. They just made it extra fancy. Once again, I'll reiterate that the glaciers on Mount Hood are not coming back just because Joe Biden became the president. All these bank-owned houses aren't suddenly going to be full of cold, houseless people because Joe Biden became the president. They might legalize weed, though. Yo, into a stoner, that's as good as a free Garth Brooks concert. Keep it pushing. Look, why would you just have, damn, they just got the littlest, look at that bulletproof glass they got for Joe Biden right there. Joe Biden is 6 foot tall. His glass is 5'6". Like, all right, Joe Biden, as long as they don't try to shoot you anywhere above your cheek, you should be absolutely safe behind. Man, they got better protection at the Plaid Pantry. Look at that. Look at that. That's not good. What's going on there? Holy crap. Damn. I can't lie. For half the time, I thought that Mike Pence was, no, we don't need to see the minus 45 degrees joke. Oh, God. I've never seen somebody steal the same joke so quickly. The Lincoln Project had a lot to do with this. We gave thank you to 11 Films a little bit ago, but the Lincoln Project had a lot to do with it. Good guy propaganda. Remember, good guy propaganda might have saved America. These thoughtful educational videos, these easy to understand documents that people provided in bullet points so that people could read them and understand them. Oh, damn, I just lost my second cam. Oh, damn, just lost my second cam. Okay. That sucks. I just watched it go blue. You are dead. Okay, hold on. Let's keep it pushing. Joe Biden has achieved more in 4 minutes than Trump did in 4 years, which is true. Which is true, man. Honestly, Joe Biden just making everybody not mad at each other for 1 minute. Yo, this is pretty cool right here. Kamala Harris. This is a huge moment. Black women are the backbone of this country. Sorry, Karens. Black women are the backbone of this country, man. They saved us. They saved us because all y'all white ladies were still voting. I said all y'all. All of you white ladies still voted for Trump, man. What Texas lawmakers are saying about Biden's inauguration. I would love to go to that article, but I'd rather go to a video real quick because I want to do something. Whoa, that was from, where is that Lone Bobart lady? I can't stand her, but I'd like to know where she is right now, just because she's a prime candidate to be a Manchurian candidate, right? That is a huge Bible. That was like the original one that King James had. When they say the King James Bible, they mean like actually King James's Bible, right? Like, oh, damn. Look, Fox 12 from Oregon just picked up the story. They're like, hey, did you guys know? Hey, look, Nurk, it's a new day in America. Oh, that's one. So when I'm talking about a redemption story, in this country, I want America. So there's two kinds of Americas. There's the America that you dream of when you're not here. There's the America that you see people talk about, the Statue of Liberty. There's the America that is Kentucky Fried Chicken and the proverbial and overused land of milk and honey colloquialism. But we're not gonna spend a lot of time trying to reinvent the wheel. So we understand that what America represents to these refugees who are in these caravans, who are trying to flee the CIA drug war that we coincidentally actually started. And so as our chickens are coming home to roost, this vision that they have of America, that it is this great place, is a dream and a daydream that is often shattered once you get here by the realities of how hard it is to exist, right? You can't even sleep in a bush without being kicked down the road and having all your stuff taken, or maybe go to jail in this country. You can't just stop somewhere along the river and start fishing and take a nap, right? This country isn't what a lot of people would hope it could be, but why can't it be? Why can't this country have its own redemption story? Why can't America get the same bounce back that Magneto got? Why can't America play chess with Professor X after killing a lot of people? Because as long as we keep telling America that it'll never be great, it can't be great, right? So here's the thing. The idea of it being great was only passed along and only stuck into the minds of people who were dumb enough to already think it was great. Which belies my next question, which is, if the country was truly that great, then why are you complaining about it when your president didn't win? Because that's what makes America great, right? 200 years of uninterrupted democratic change of power through an election process where every person hypothetically gets a voice. That's ideal. That's what we want. So why would you fight against that unless you are one of the people that that believes the marketing hype versus the realities of looking out your own window? I found a tweet on Monday that I wrote 8 years ago. Maybe it wasn't a tweet. Maybe it was on Facebook. I wrote it 8 years ago, and I said, hey, gun dudes, if you got the guns to protect us from a tyrannical government, my question is, do you also own windows? Because if you look out your window, you can see that we have a tyrannical government. And it happened before Donald Trump. Donald Trump is a convenient fall guy because the dude is a piece of flypaper, right? He attracts all the grossest. Like Donald Trump is a roach hotel, a walking, talking roach hotel. But this country doesn't have to be. Instead of colonizing these other countries like Iraq and half the Middle East, and exploiting their resources like we do in the African continent, and exploiting labor like we do worldwide, we could become sustainable. Like, there's no, like, why? I watched a woman this morning who lives in the same community as me, right? I watched her carrying 2 heavy bags, and a box of Cheerios in her hand. She looked beleaguered and she looked weathered, and she was walking exactly how Donald Trump walked today, the Al Bundy walk. And I thought to myself, how much is going to change about that lady's need to carry an individual box of Cheerios? And is that a treat to that lady that she bought an individual box of Cheerios? Like, is that lady going to sit there and be like, all right, bro, I got my Cheerios? Is that lady going to celebrate the small victory of getting those Cheerios? Is that the effing American dream? Because let me tell you this, in the old days, before y'all came in, before I guess my people, I'm British, I'm Irish, British descent. Before the colonizers came, you could be a Native American in this country and work 1 hour a week if you were good at fishing. If you could throw your woven net into the river and grab yourself a fat enough salmon, your family could eat for weeks on that. And all you had to do for the rest of your life, the rest of your days, was ride around on your cool horse or carve out your canoe or do any fun thing you wanted to do, hang out with your kids, talk to your grandparents, help your grandparents, do anything you want. Was it super easy? No. And people always say at this juncture in the conversation, they always want to bring up the conjecture that, yeah, but your quality of life might be better, but the longevity of your life expectancy was a lot less. Like, bro, I would rather die at 35 doing dope shit than live miserably to 65. Does that resonate with you? Like I say, this show ain't for everybody, man. This show ain't for everybody. Some people would honestly rather live a long ass time just watching America's Funniest Home Videos. And there ain't nothing I could do about that, to tell you the honest to God truth. All I can do is try to show you better, lead by example, throw my television in the lake. I ain't no better though. I don't read books or nothing. You can tell by the way I just phrased that. I don't read no books or nothing. I'm going to talk about some YouTube shit, though. I got you. All right, let's see what's going on. Let's go back to the inauguration. Oh, shit. Krusty Christie is talking right now. Let's see. Krusty Christie, we're going to go to our correspondent on the street. Nobody has eaten as many donuts as Krusty Christie and survived the coronavirus. Let's see what he has to say. Yo, Krusty Chris, give us the update. Hi, I'm Krusty Chris.
At the very beginning of his presidency, he could have brought people together behind an infrastructure package that the country desperately needed, and gotten Republican and Democratic votes for it. I hope that President Biden puts that up pretty early on to show that he can make the aspirations that he spoke about today a reality of governing. If he does that, it will make him a more powerful president.
The hard work is going to begin immediately. COVID front and center, his COVID relief bill, as we see. The new Vice President of the United States saying farewell to the man who was Vice President of the United States for the last 4 years, Mike Pence and Karen Pence. He served in the House as well. Now his first walk down those Capitol steps as a former Vice President of the United States.
Damn, good timing. Get out of town, Mike Pence.
Rahm Emanuel, your thoughts on the speech?
I'd make 2 quick points.
Rahm Emanuel's a piece of shit, by the way.
Asserting about democracy and the American story. I think when you look at the whole day's event, it's almost becoming self-reassuring about America's story and its democracy. We have to actually convince ourselves. Given
Hey, we did do it though, man.
The second is
jumping team high five.
Is out of many one. And underneath all of this is a basic point that after the last 4 years, we deviated from that motto. And I think when you really strip back, what Joe Biden was talking about was reasserting that motto as our North Star. The poem, which we all said, I mean, I think she stole the day, and I think we're going to hear a lot. That's the first we've heard it, not the last we've heard of Ms. Gorman. But that motto is our North Star. And I think Joe Biden, in his own biography, but also his words, was reminding all of us that out of many is one, and that is the project of America, and that's the project of a president who's unique in America to lead us towards that, no matter how many different ways the twists and turns it has. And I think that today he's started his presidency on a step forward, but it was a big step given the last 4 years.
Sarah Fagan delivered with such conviction.
Such conviction. And I agree so much with Byron that there is so much religion infused in this speech and unity. I don't remember an inaugural where references to God were so prevalent. And in some ways, I don't know that the Biden team thought of it this way, but it was a unique way to reach out to Trump's America. If you look at evangelical Christians, they overwhelmingly supported the president. If you look at church attendance in this country, the more likely you attend church more than once, huge numbers of those individuals supported the Republicans. That was a way for him to reach out without getting into politics.
Yvette?
A beautiful day, a beautiful set of speeches, lots of great words. I do want to echo that young woman, Amanda Gorman, who just reminds us America's best kept secret. Black women are magic. We are brilliant. We are special. We are beautiful. We are amazing. And she is going to go down in history. I think she did steal the day. You know, I want to add a different perspective because I always do. There was one place where I wanted him to kind of step out a little more. And that was when he talked about being the president for everyone. And if you're not okay with that, okay, but I'm still going to serve you. I think back to John F. Kennedy, who said, ask not what your country will do for you, but what you will do for your country. And I think it's an important thing for him to say. Unity requires you to step up and do something too. The folks who came and stormed the Capitol 2 weeks ago, disenfranchised, feeling left out, guess what? A lot of us have felt that way. And we continue to show up and we fight for this country that is not perfect, that has not served us. And I wanted him to say, re-engage. You need to be a part of the solution. And I hope we see that coming out. Don't let these folks off the hook. We need them to be a part of the solution. He's not going to come to them and feed them from his hand. They have to come to.
Let me see what I could do about that, Vince. Sorry. Let me see if I can.
Results and say they're ready for a fresh start. Now, President Biden was last here in this town on Election Day, visiting the community.
Yeah,
and also
we
visiting
don't.
The woman who lives in that home. We spoke with her, and she says she's absolutely thrilled that this day has finally come.
Well, they just went to this lady's house.
The Biden family back in the 1960s. She's been here ever since. She is excited. She says whenever Joe Biden would come to town, Biden's team would reach out, let her know that they were on their way. And last time Joe Biden was here on election,
I can't think of anything I care less about than that lady's house. Okay, let's see what else is going on. Holy shit. I mean, not what else is going on. Like, that's the only thing going on. Obviously, ain't nobody talking about nothing else today, but let's go somewhere where it's a little bit more cracking than the front of that lady's house. Like, if that's all you can do for the news, we're here in front of this lady's house. This lady bought Max Smith with the first tweet, as usual. Hey, for real, though, it's a good tweet right here. I don't understand how people think this is a victory. Like, people are still dying. Nothing has changed other than the racists will now be in hiding again. I get that. I get it. But it's better than the racists being in power. So, like I said a minute ago, it's a small boot versus a big boot, or a slightly smaller boot. Sorry, I'm slurping on the coffee and the bong hits this morning. It's a pretty exciting morning. So I'm starting to get hot now. I was a little chilly this morning, but sitting in front of these lights for, what are we going on now? Like an hour and 10 minutes. That's about my limit. An hour and 10 minutes plus my hair is probably pretty crazy. We'll keep that stashed away, I guess. This is Coffee and Bong Hits with Jessie. I am Jessie. Here's my coffee. Is that lady? Wow, that's a good one. I feel like I've taken a 200-pound shit. That means that's only like half of the that's only like half of the president. You know, the president weighs like. What are the liberals whose whole identity has become anti-Trump going to do after tomorrow? Right? Hey, don't forget, man. This is a great question. Hey, because remember this. This is an important. I say remember this a lot because I'm constantly referring to something I already said. Oh, if I didn't introduce her, this is Sue, my co-host. She's shy. Until Donald Trump got elected and those people got those pink pussy hats and marched around littering Starbucks cups everywhere. I said littering, not literally. I'm still good. Until those people started marching around with the pink pussy hats wearing the Starbucks every day, they didn't give a shit. They let Obama drop all the drones he wanted. They let every terrible thing continue to perpetuate that this government was doing under Obama. We were still blowing up hospitals. We were still blowing up schools. We still had endless wars. We were letting pipelines zigzag all the way across this country and nobody gave a shit. But then when somebody that they don't like starts doing it, then they're like, quick to the pussy hat mobile. Dick Hennessy's like, it's not, there's no hat in it. It's just the vagina mobile. Shout out to Dick Hennessy. Yo, what happened to my lighting? Why is my lighting so weird right now? Am I getting... Why is my lighting so terrible? Oh, I think it's my jacket that I just took off. I bet if I put it back on, it would not look so bad. Maybe not. Whoa, I got a ringing in my ear right now. Can you guys even hear me? Hello. Wow, that's weird. Okay. So you guys didn't give a shit when Obama was doing all this terrible, terrible stuff. And then when Donald Trump just continued it, you guys were like, oh, it's the worst thing ever. Because we had a border crisis before Donald Trump became the president. We had a border crisis during Obama. We had a border crisis during Clinton. We're always going to have a border crisis as long as the CIA continues to use Central and South America as its playground to generate funds by selling cocaine. It's the truth. I don't make this shit up. And sorry, I lost my other angle, man. I bet that's annoying to some people. Let me see what's going on here again. NBC News. What are they talking about? Whoa. Holy shit. I'm going to show you guys this.
When is he going to suddenly confront that crisis abroad? And we don't know the answer to that. But we do know that in these last few years, I think things have rapidly deteriorated around the world. Iran is in a much more difficult situation. They're enriching nuclear fuel, coming closer to the possibility of developing a nuclear weapon. North Korea is continuing to develop nuclear weapons. We're in a whole new Cold War with Russia, with China. And so there are a number of areas that represent real threats. All of these things could explode. All of these things could turn into crisis very quickly. Now, I'm hoping that adversaries will try to measure Joe Biden and the new administration, what their intent are, whether or not they can reach out, whether or not there can be any communication. So there'll be a period of testing, I think, that will go on before we see whether or not they turn to crisis or whether they turn to dialogue.
And now we have a threat at home that, again, the president called out by name, domestic extremism, and saying we must confront it and we will defeat it, adding yet another concern, a national security concern right here at home.
No, there's no question. We're not, it's the Constitution says defend against both foreign and domestic threats, and that is exactly what we're confronting right now.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Foreign terrorism.
The hell is that?
Of ISIS and Al Qaeda and Boko Haram and all of the other groups that continue to target the United States,
flags upon
target other
flags
countries,
upon flags.
and now we have domestic terrorism in this country.
There's a reflecting pool
that were willing.
I was just there
to use clubs, and
I didn't walk all the way in though.
be able to attack the capital of the United States. Willing to kill, willing to destroy.
Yo, people were
property,
shoulder to
willing
shoulder.
destroy
I was
our
like, I know there's a
democracy.
virus out there, right?
That is a threat we have to recognize. It's a threat we have to deal with. Just as we, after 9/11, we recognized we had to go to war against foreign terrorism. After January 6th, I think we recognize that we're going to have to go to war against domestic terrorism as well.
All right, Secretary Panetta, nice to have you on. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, sir.
Good to be with you.
I want to go to our Capitol Hill correspondent, Casey Hunt, to talk about the challenges ahead for the new
Casey
president
Hunt.
and Congress. Casey.
Lester, they are many, but I will say that this speech that Joe Biden gave today, President Biden now, of course, has so far been getting pretty positive reviews from the members of Congress that he's going to have to work with as president to try and tackle some of the biggest crises that we have faced as a nation in generations. Mitt Romney telling reporters inside the Capitol that he had positive words praising Joe Biden's speech here, President Biden's speech, really opening the door in many ways to doing the things that he has talked about on the campaign trail, to figuring out a way to solve big problems because of the relationships that he's built up over many years. Don't forget,
Man, she's got busy ass
Joe
hands.
Biden knows this Capitol building as well as
Is she a
anyone
rapper?
has. He was at the time one of the youngest senators to come in here many years ago, really a person of the Senate. And I think that's going to make a real difference as he tries to figure out how to, first of all, try and get some economic help out to Americans who are really struggling. He's already said he wants to do that. That's going to be the first priority out of the gate. But it is going to take compromise no matter what. And that has been something that's been in really short supply, certainly through the Trump era, but even during the Obama presidency was something that the country, the Congress in particular, really struggled with. So he does have a working relationship with Mitch McConnell, who is, of course, going to be the minority leader. He's going to have control of the Senate and the House, but his majorities are going to be incredibly narrow. And so it's going to be a real challenge here. But I think that there's a willingness, and certainly I've already been talking with some members, texting with some members of Congress who say that if this tone can hold, the tone that he set today, this speech, not a campaign style speech, not a speech about Joe Biden personally, but rather a speech about the country. It was an American speech more than a campaign speech.
Can't do that, lady, no more. Hold on. I got some other shit for you. I got some other shit for you. Well, there you go. So y'all still down with Obama? Y'all still down with Obama? The dude has the word bomb in his name, and nobody cared until, yeah, right, the lady's doing her own sign language. She's just talking and rocking at the same time. Unlikely. Good guess. Hold on. Oh, you know what? You can't hear. I don't think you can hear what I got going on in the background. That lady's still talking. I thought you guys could still hear Casey Hunt talking. All right. I'm sorry, Casey Hunt. All right. Anyways, look, one thing about Bush, he going to find Michelle. Capitol riot hero Eugene Goodman chosen to escort Vice President Kamala Harris on Inauguration Day. Yo, that dude is the G. That dude is a G. You guys might notice that I get a lot of news from Houston. You'll be like, Jesse, Houston comes up a lot. Yeah, you guys forget. I moved to Texas before. I moved to Texas. Oh shit! Look, even this I don't know what country this is. I think this is Iran. I think Iran is the only Middle Eastern country whose news I follow a lot. Whoa. Look. This is crazy. This is Iranian TV. Damn, this is hardcore right here. Here's what they think about you. Here's what they think about you. Man, it's crazy that me and Ryan and Ashanti just went to Washington, D.C. a couple months ago because I have context. Now I understand what Washington, D.C. is like when they show these streets like, oh, shit, I stood there. Oh, I smoked a joint there. Or, I mean, I didn't smoke a joint there. Ryan did. Ooh. No. We smoked all over that place. Anyways, yeah, look, this is Iranian TV. They're like, bro, this is what Donald Trump has turned America into. You know, before Donald Trump came and ripped up the treaty, damn, that's hardcore. This is Iranian TV news. Just clowning on us. Oh, man. There's a good question. Are we going to keep Space Force? Can we keep Space Force but get rid of the stupid names and the stupid costumes and the stupid titles? Because everything about Space Force except for space is stupid. like, yo, the space part is cool. Having it being run by the guy from The Office, not a good idea. I don't even think that dude really picked up any leadership experience as the boss of those office people anyways, man. We can't do it to America. Okay. Amanda Gorman, the first youth poet laureate in America. I saw a lot of people on the internet were like, I didn't even know we had one of those. Well, I guess you're going to have to thank President Trump for that because if nobody knew, that must mean it's new. And I don't think Joe Biden had time within that 1 second that he was the president to go ahead, create that designation, then award the certificate, and then book the lady. So I assume that the creation of a youth poet laureate was done under the Trump administration. So when they say, what good has he ever done? When they say, what good has Trump ever done? It'll be like when the white supremacists or the minimizers or the deniers or the rationalizers, when those people say, well, Hitler did a lot of good things for Germany. He built highways and that's all they ever have to say, right? He built highways. But Donald Trump's moment, they'll be like, what did Trump ever do that was good? And he'd be like, well, he was the president when they initiated the first ever youth poet laureate program. They're like, get out of here, white supremacists. Hey, I ain't white supremacist, man. I'm just on the fence. So what are these people going to do now, man? These people that built their entire flawed personalities, right? Obviously, if you are borrowing a personality from Donald Trump, then you're flawed from the get-go, right? If you are building your whole freaking personality around any president, I don't care if it's Donald Trump. I mean, especially Donald Trump makes it worse. But if you built it around Jimmy Carter, if you built your personality around Richard Nixon, if you were like, bro, you know what? Actually, I have met a couple people who rode that Abraham Lincoln look into the dirt. One time on Fight Church, I actually had an Abraham Lincoln impersonator on my show. And when I told him he didn't have to talk like that around me, he said, "What do you mean? This is how I talk." And I was like, "Don't do it, dude. Don't do it. I know that the Little Mermaid smokes when she's off break at Disneyland, so don't give me that crap. Don't give me that crap." Y'all know I cried earlier. I really did earlier when we were asked to bow our heads and pray. I thought about how truly privileged I am. Because when they talk about the country, United States being full of opportunity, it is, but it isn't. And what's crazy is the thing about the opportunity is the people that have it don't maximize it. They don't appreciate it. It's literally given to them and they squander it. While the people who would do so much with that opportunity, the people who walk miles, take boats, stow away on pirate ships, put themselves into storage containers, allow coyotes to put them in the backs of trucks in extreme heat for days, chasing the illusion of opportunity that's sold like a timeshare to the people of this country, right? It's not real. I mean, it is real. If you managed to overcome the impediments created by society. For example, man, they start giving credit cards to people at 18 years old. But most 18-year-olds I know aren't responsible enough or haven't been taught the steps to even manage their credit like that. Like the steps to get your license suspended are way easier than the litany of tasks you have to perform to get your license unsuspended, right? Getting thrown in jail is a lot easier than breaking out of jail. And we don't do shit with it. We're gifted this. Our birth put us in this country. That's it. Not our hard work. Not as a reward for being good people. Strictly because of the geographical location that your mom decided to throw down. That's the only reason you're an American. If your mom would have waited till she went to Egypt and then got pregnant with you and then waited 9 months, you would have been an Egyptian. Through any series of Russian roulettes with your father's sperm shooting anywhere into the world that it wanted to, or that it could, in any direction. You just happen to get lucky that it was pointed at the United States of America. That's it. We didn't do anything. We never overcame anything. We never achieved anything to receive this bounty that we are blessed with. Shay, do you know every kid in this country is guaranteed a free education through grade 12? That is astounding. And you know they'll deliver mail for you for free. You can just put this little box in front of your house. And this dude will just drive by and bring you all the bills you owe directly to your house. And holiday cards from your grandma with $5 in them. This world's so weird, man. So weird. Meanwhile, the people that are walking from Guatemala or Honduras are literally walking in probably some terrible conditioned footwear. They're walking, carrying all their possessions on their back. Not through neighborhoods, not through towns, not even through states or city states or municipalities. These people are literally walking through entire countries from one border to the geographically opposed opposite border, all the way through other countries to get to the United States for just a sliver of the opportunities that we are given to be in this country. And then you see these morons that go and charge our capital, and they're like, oh, we're so oppressed. We're going to have a revolt. And then you're like, wow, you guys are feeling oppression? Oppression has really made it all the way to some white dudes with $50,000 trucks and $1,000 guns and $500 freaking pairs of pants and a $2,000 leather bustier. I don't care. It lifts and separates. Yo, super shout out if you got that. Where's your oppression? Because your dude lost an election and you actually had never really been involved in elections and you don't even understand the electoral process. And for the first couple months, you thought Hillary Clinton had already been the president once? Or you thought that when you passed around a petition to recall Kate Brown, that all you had to do was just write your first name in School of Hard Knocks in the blank spot, and that would be enough? Or do you think that official correspondence, when important enough to convey such severity of nature, you would type it in all capital letters? Just all caps. Oh, just vitriol. Because let's face it, you didn't know shit about politics until you had a racist person to root for. And you didn't even know that politics weren't football. You didn't know that you don't just go get a shirt and put your own name on the back of it and just be like, yeah, our team's good and you suck. Like what? Like the political Raider fans. But let's remember that if you are going to absorb a politician, a president as your personality, you probably weren't holding on to that much of a gem of a personality to start with, right? It was probably a crappy personality that you were more than happy to trade in for the Donald Trump version of Eminem's Stan, right? Like, dear Donald Trump, I'm writing to you in all capitals. I bought a hat from you, right? Like, you stand. I got Joe Biden in my trunk. Like, what is going on? You can't build that. So now what are these people going to do with this vacuum? Is there a rehabilitation story in it for those people? I know you would love to know, and I would love to tell you when we come back from our break at the bottom of the hour, where I need to remind you guys, first of all, that you can catch this show always easy on urbansurvivorman.com. That's an everyday thing. Just show up on urbansurvivorman.com and you can catch that. You might also get to see my back. There you go. Also, to let you know that next week we're going to become an official retailer, online retailer. I'm not having a bunch of these things in my house. We're going to become an official online retailer of Sick Mullet Polarized Sick Apparel. That's what I meant to say, and I'll get it out if I have to spit it out. Don't forget, if you are listening to this right now after the fact, you might as well be listening to the podcast. You can go ahead and subscribe right now to our podcast, wherever you get your favorite podcasts from. That's a daily dose of relevant information and esoteric motivation, live with the last sane person on the planet, activist, lyricist, journalist, me, Jessie Sponberg. Another quick reminder, if you want that edgy gear that says Joe Biden sucks too, go to standupandfightback.bigcartel.com. Anti-fascism will always be anti-fascism, no matter which fascist you elect into office. Here's your reminder. You should be watching this at urbansurvivorman.com. Or you can go with this one, urbansurvivorman.com. And I now present to you, for your entertainment, Red Panda flipping 4 bulls right to the face. Blam. Oh, whoops. That wasn't supposed to be there. Let me take that off. That is cool looking though, right? Let me take that off and switch it back to this. And I want to take this opportunity to tell you guys about the funnest way to spend your Thursday nights. I'm not laughing about Thursday nights. I'm laughing. Hold on. Hold on. Sorry. They're marching the colors up the steps according to Vince. We're going to do this so you guys can watch this while I tell you guys about Thursday nights.
Incentives have been.
Who is that lady? I feel like I used to know that lady until she got so much plastic surgery, and I don't recognize her.
Where's the radical middle? Where
I won't say her
and I
name.
don't mean centrism in terms of your political.
Okay, so they're marching those up the steps. We're just going to keep that on in the background while I tell you guys about Bingo XOXO. Bingo XOXO. It's bingo, and you didn't think bingo could be fun, but it really honestly is fun. Bingo XOXO puts a cool group of people together in a virtual environment and waits for somebody to yell bingo. I know you know how bingo is played, but this is a Fight Church style twist on it. You know, how we like to involve our friends and our community, and that's what actually makes it fun, right? Like, I heard Vietnam wasn't that bad if you had homies in your unit. So every Thursday night, go to mealexchange.com. You should be hanging out at mealexchange.com anyways. That's meal with the letter X and then the word change, mealexchange.com. You should be going there anyways. Drop $5 on them. $5 will buy a hot meal from a takeout restaurant that could use the business right now. Just go to Meal Exchange, drop $5 on them. But make sure you join us tomorrow, which is Thursday. I think it's 7:00. If I'm wrong, I'll fix it tomorrow. But to find out, you can just go to mealexchange.com, and it's free. It's free. Of course, they accept donations, but it's free to play. It's free to have fun. It's free to win prizes. And if you're a local business who would like to sponsor a game, like Game 46 will be sponsored by Joe's Doghouse. Joe's Doghouse, providing old chewed up bones for a long time, right? And then Joe's Doghouse will sponsor game number 7, and you'll win an old chewed up bone, which is really actually a good price if you're another dog. If you're a person, you might look for something else. But yo, Finda keeps winning. She knows it's super fun. And 500 can buy lots of pairs of Crocs, especially when urbansurvivorman.com becomes an official retailer of Crocs. So I don't know who that guy is. I know who Lester Holt is. Damn, you know what? I was supposed to be playing a music video in 2 minutes. Let me find this real quick. Y'all ain't ready for this one. My man Lucci Vega's in the house. I know I told my man TJ that I was gonna play his stuff, but if you ain't mess with the Mexican Mac yet this week, you need to, like, right now. Hold on. This is a perfect video for Inauguration Day. We're gonna let this shit ride and make sure that this is the actual video. Look, this ain't the video. This is just the music. Let me find the video. Hold on. Sorry. I'm gonna take advantage of this opportunity again to remind you guys about Bingo XOXO. I'll be playing. This is the only bingo game I play every week. Shit, it's the only bingo game I probably ever play, honestly. Here we go. Here's the official music video. Yo, man, Lucci Vega is my dude, man. I don't know if y'all mess with Lucci yet or not, but you need to get on that boat. You need to get on the Lucci train. This is my guy. Hold up. Let me get up in here. Hold on. You know what's crazy is, look, I don't know who produced this video, but it says it's Black Lagoon Filmworks, right? I should reach out to those dudes, because one thing a lot of people don't see, you don't even know. You see what I'm seeing yet? It's Black Lagoon Filmworks put this video together for Lucci Vega, right? But dig, I actually swam in the real life Black Lagoon just like, I don't know, 3-4 months ago. The real life Black Lagoon, you know, with the creature from the Black Lagoon. I went to the Black Lagoon like a creature. So I'm gonna reach out to those dudes, be like, yo, you want any video from the actual Black Lagoon? It's not even black. There's a couple parts that are pretty murky, but it's really beautiful. Okay, here's my man Lucci Vega with the official video for his joint, Let the Kid Out the Cages. Joe Biden, you son of a bitch, you better be listening. This is Coffee and Bonghits. If you're listening to this on a podcast provider, then please go leave us a review. 5 stars or 1 star. I don't care. Just please don't call us 3 stars. All right. There you go. Lucci Vega.
Filmworks, baby. Come get some.
From the Black Lagoon.
Right now, U.S. Border Patrol is holding more than 15,000 people every day, including an estimated 2,000 unaccompanied children. The detention centers where they're being held have become notorious for their squalid condition.
He made inflammatory remarks about Mexican immigrants. They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists.
We're building a wall. He's a Mexican. We're building a wall between here and Mexico. The answer
Pay
is...
attention, Joe Biden.
Hey, you don't like me, baby, take me to court. I'm bumping Chalino and I'm slapping too short. I'm late to court, my baby mama mad. I'm just like you, brother, I ain't never had a dad. Beat the cats out the cages, let the children be free. These gringos hate me so much, they wanna see me deceased. We don't fuck with police, we some real fucking cheats. Ask about us in the streets, ain't no justice, no peace. You fuck with us, guarantee you knocking on the devil's door. Beat a dirty castle back, he yelling, I don't want no more. Now the DEA, the FBI, they knocking down my door. Cause I make illegal music, I die yelling, fuck the law. They killing all the Mexicans, but I guess that's not important. Cause y'all still rapping by your chains and your Jordans. Y'all ain't fucking with La Raza the way you say you do. Always missing in action, and we been going through it. They got bitches inside their heart, but I already knew it. These racist motherfuckers, they gon' really make me lose it. My temper, my patience, my last ounce of kindness. Better watch your fucking mouth when you speaking to the finest. The ghetto, the hood, there's love to show me love. Children missing by the dozen, nobody gives a fuck. The rape him, they murder him, and then they sell their guts. Most times they like to eat him, they be drinking baby blood. The lies, the bullshit, are people hiding up. I hope you really mean it when you boys be acting tough.
Lucci Vega.
Free the cash out the catches, let the children be free. These gringos hate me so much, they wanna see me deceased. We don't fuck with police, we some real fucking cheats. Ask about us in the streets, ain't no justice, no peace. You fuck with dirt, guarantee you knocking on the devil's door. Beat a dirty castle back, he yelling, I don't want no more. Now the DEA, the FBI, they knocking down my door. Cause I make illegal music, I die yelling, fuck the law. Don't worry about my name, don't ask me where I'm from. You fucking with my family, but bet I'm acting dumb. You cops make me laugh, you ain't shit without your guns. Killing innocent civilians, you got bullied and punked. I gotta move wisely for my daughters and my son, so they can live a better life than me when I was young. And that's into real into my play, my final season. Shout out to Gold Toes, I was like 17 reasons to keep pushing the hard line. Front line for my people, my family, my fans, my everyday dogs. They get to come to both, we creeping through the fall. Tell your bitch ass president, let their children be free. Cause if he don't, it's gonna be so war in these streets. And if he don't, it's gonna be so war in these streets. Let their children be free and fuck the police. Let their children be free. It's gonna be war in these streets. Yee!
My guy. My guy. Man, I had to wait and make sure there wasn't a message at the end or a call to action. Remember when I did that to Anthony Rivera the other day, right? I thought his video was over, and then right when I stopped it went to the suicide hotline. I was like, oh, damn, I'm a piece of crap for that one. All right, let's check back in with the inauguration. Oh, damn. Hold on. I see some Joe Biden. Hold on. Hold on.
It's a concern. Hold that thought. We want to watch Tom.
Whoa.
Tom, sorry to hold that thought. We want to watch this gift ceremony
with you and
taking
the
place in the
traditions
rotunda.
here. By those traditions, usually there's a painting at the front of that event that the chairman picks.
Yo, did they just say all the merch people can't get out of the city and so they can't sell their merch to anybody? How'd they get in there? And they sell a lot of merch in Washington, D.C. Like all up and down the streets are just people selling T-shirts. And here's the crazy thing is Ashanti stops and talks to every single one of those people.
Robert Sheldon Duncanson.
If you're trying to walk somewhere with Ashanti, you cannot walk by those Washington, D.C. merch tables.
He was based in Cincinnati, encouraged by abolitionists who, among other things, sponsored a trip for him to do some study in Europe.
Look, that's the rainbow that God gave to Noah after he smelled the barbecue, after he killed all the rest of the humans. He was like, yo, Noah, my bad, have a rainbow. Anyways, I'll take this advantage of this opportunity to let you guys know that Swiggle got the brand new.
A black artist painting this.
Man, I think it's called Needed. I don't want to be wrong. Let me double check. I bumped it already a couple times, but
verge of a war that we would fight over slavery. That makes all of that, I think, even.
I don't even know where the Google is on this phone.
In that, while he faced lots of challenges,
Swiggle's got the brand new one out. Somebody tell me the name of Swiggle's new song. Look, it's with Shady Records. It's sweeping the country. We want it to sweep the world. Go find Swiggle Mandela, share his shit, push the shit, go click like, do something. Make sure those charts are moving.
The rainbow is always a good sign. Let's hope so.
This is so whack. Look, now they got to just take it. No, you ain't walking away. Take that with you, Joe Biden. You and your rude ass wife. Yeah, take that painting. Holy crap. How do you take that one? That one goes to Narnia. You just walk in that one. You're right in the middle of the Revolutionary War.
First
You don't
Lady,
even have to.
Madam
Just
Vice
boom.
President, and our very first second gentleman.
Sorry, I talked too much.
On behalf of the American people, it is our honor to present these.
Sometimes I forget that Kamala has a white husband.
Commemorating your
I'm like, yo, there's a dude following Kamala.
Lennox, which you know is a great company, American company, has handcrafted these gifts for the past 9 presidential inaugurations. It is a good thing I don't have to hand them to you.
Throw them on the ground, Joe Biden.
With the base, 32 pounds.
Throw them on the ground, Joe Biden. Be like,
But Jill,
it's
I know
a
is
new
very
world.
strong and could, like, take
And
a
I'm
vote.
nominating Greta. Yo, here's the truth, man. The
Exactly.
only thing that's going to save the world
the
is
Lennox
if Greta
company is
somehow
actually based
becomes
in
our
Bristol,
president. I don't know.
Pennsylvania, which you know, Mr.
Alex
President,
Jones
is a
told me
mere
that Arnold Schwarzenegger could
132
someday
miles
become
from
the president.
Scranton. Since
So
we know
that
today
means
all
I
roads lead to
hold out great
Scranton.
hope that Greta
The
could do it
team
too.
at Lennox has worked for months to capture the
Man,
spirit
ADM,
of
we
this
were
inauguration and your
no
incoming
guess all day.
administration.
Everybody would rather just
Mr. President, your base features the White
observate
House,
than
and Vice
participate, which is
President
great
Harris's
because
features
I
the
just
U.S.
about did
Capitol.
2 hours
The
and
gifts
15 minutes
represent the
of
hope and the
inaugural
faith
coverage
the
all by
American
myself.
people
I know they must
place in
think you're a
you to
serious
move the country
alcoholic
forward.
if they give you a shot glass that big.
Thank you.
Right, here you go, Joe Biden. We heard you and your wife like to lay on the sauce a little bit. So here's a 75-ounce shot glass. Yo, that would be just enough for BJ and Dr. Pepper. BJ would take that 75-ounce pure crystal into 7-Eleven and be like, yo, I don't pay full price for the refill, right, player? They'd be like, sir, you can't bring that glass in.
Mr. President.
Coronavirus regulations. And
Madam
BJ
Vice
be like,
President.
damn you.
Well,
I used to manage a Dollar
pandemic
Tree.
has sadly
Okay, hold
limited
on.
our
Mitch McConnell, the
hospitality,
turtleneck
as I
who grew
I'm very
ahead.
glad we still carry on some of our favorite inaugural.
Wow, this guy really doesn't deserve it, but it's
my honor and
historic.
privilege to help present these flags
Punch him in
of our
the
nation
effing
that were
face,
flown
Joe.
over today's event here at the Capitol.
Well, was that Robert E. Lee up in the
personal
corner? Who
privilege
is
on
that
behalf
dude
of the
wearing the
Senate.
bathrobe? Was that Hugh Hefner?
With all due respect to our
Look at
distinguished
Abraham
speaker
Lincoln looking like
and our
Keanu Reeves up
colleagues
there.
from the House,
Whoa, dude.
I have to note, not only did we just swear
Who's
in a
yelling?
son and daughter of the Senate to these high offices, but indeed both these former senators skipped the House altogether. The Star Spangled Banner is our greatest symbol of our endurance of the American idea.
That sucks that Kamala Harris
Flies
felt
over
pressured
this
to laugh at
building
that
on
joke,
triumphant days
trying to build bridges.
and on tragic
I'm sure they
ones.
hate Mitch McConnell as much
We're
as
all
everybody, but
factions,
it never does
all
you any good
parties.
in life to tell your enemies how much you
Today,
hate
this
them.
flag flew over our former colleague's inauguration as the very first female vice president of the United States. So, to our very distinguished former colleague, Madam Vice President, please accept this flag with the highest compliments and congratulations of the United States Senate.
The distinguished leader of the Senate pointed out that he has hosted this lunch for members of the Senate who have become president and vice president. But I have the privilege of giving a flag to the President of the United States.
Yeah, it's
the
called needed.
flag
I was
that
right.
was flown when you were sworn in, Mr. President. This flag reflects all that is said about your inauguration. America united. May it be a symbol of the hope, the healing, and the
You know how mad those people are?
enthusiasm
If
that
they
we
hadn't
have
got that little
for
dose
our
of
country.
Garth Brooks
And
early
as
in
we
this
heard the
program, they would be
beautiful
so
national
hot
anthem,
right now.
When we're at the
They're like, oh, wait, Garth Brooks, huh?
is our flag still there? Then you say, play ball, right there. Play ball. So we're going to get ready to play ball. We're ready to go with the inspiration of our flag flying. But again,
Shut
on behalf
up,
of the
Nancy
House of
Pelosi.
Representatives, it is my privilege to extend to you.
Nancy Pelosi is one of those
flag
people
that
that
was flown
only
the
looks
moment,
good standing next to
early
pieces
moment
of shit,
that you were
right?
sworn in as President of the United States. Thank you, Mr. President.
Holy
Thank you,
crap. If you just put that woman on an island,
If we had the
you
lunch,
guys
we
know,
would have
man,
had
I
California
usually really
wine. Is
withhold
that not right?
criticisms of women
Madam Vice
and
President, Mr. Emhoff, congratulations.
but man, that lady's so
Liberty and
detached.
justice for all. Thank you.
Remember this, kids. The Globetrotters would not be undefeated if they didn't play the Washington Generals every week. If Nancy Pelosi wasn't such a perfect foil,
And one of the traditions of inauguration,
as if this was WWF,
taking
to
place there,
juxtapose Donald Trump in this
leaders of both the
fake
House and Senate taking part.
drama recreation of an actual political engagement, right? Instead, she participated in the facade and the charade as much as anybody else, ripping up papers and doing little faces, and it's corny, man. It's WWF, and the only way that we're going to move from this in this giant redemption story.
Harris, Dr. Biden, and Mr. Imhoff, on behalf of Republicans and Congress, congratulations.
Wow, that's kind of a dope picture right there, really.
When President Washington was sworn in as the first president of the United States, only a handful of people saw the ceremony or heard the famous first inaugural address. Today, the inauguration is seen around the nation and indeed around the world. Yet the task facing the nation is no less.
That guy's taking big mask breaths before every sentence.
I listened to your speech today. You talked among the tension and division. Our task as leaders is to bind this nation's wounds and dedicate ourselves to the values of all Americans share together. With modern technology, just a few minutes ago, it captured in these pictures.
For the first official Zoom inauguration.
For all the world to see. This picture should serve as a reminder of that task that we have before us.
It's so crazy. The Civil War, the second Civil War, lasted 2 hours.
It is my honor
that was
to
it.
present to a very proud
That was
daughter
it.
of California as well.
The Confederates
Today, Vice President
stormed
Harris made history.
the Capitol building with
America
the
should
intentions of murdering
But we
politicians.
should also remember that this is not the end, but just the beginning. As leaders,
They desecrated
we are
our
judged
Capitol.
not by our words,
They
but by our
flew
actions.
the Confederate flag
So let's go
within the
forth
hollow
from
of the
here
halls
together, accomplish great things for the American people.
of our
And every time
legislative
you look at this
processes.
photo, remember
They
the
wiped
beginning,
doo-doo
the job
on
we
the
have to do.
walls,
Congratulations.
and yet somehow those tactics weren't enough to overthrow the most powerful country in the United States. Thanks for playing. We do have some rice-a-roni for you, the San Francisco treat, feeding families since 1960. You'll get a whole case of that to take home with you. Also, the home game of government.
Marriage is about to get rocky, I can tell.
So now, here's the crazy
After
thing.
the Joint Congressional Committee on the
This is just a bunch of I don't want to say performativism, but it is performativism, but it's got to be done. It's the pomp and circumstances. So now, as we wrap up, we got 9 minutes left. Let's think about two things. One, when we speak about being redeemable, does that reach out to Donald Trump? Is Donald Trump redeemable? Is Donald Trump going to be like Cartman and just for the rest of time just be this awful, obstinate obstacle to everything that we're trying to achieve? Or will he have the decency to just go away and die and take all of his loyal followers with him back to the fucking toilet bowl that he clogged out from as the most obtuse and least self-aware person that maybe history will ever see. His name has already replaced Benedict Arnold in the lexicon of traitors. And his actions will forever be a stain on the office of the presidency. If America is to truly recover, then it needs to understand that some parts of it are absolutely irredeemable. And they need to go away forever. And I'm not just talking about the president. I am also speaking about inflated police budgets that take money from schools and take money from social service programs so that cops can buy tanks and Hummers and four-wheelers so that they can track down homeless people. Fossil fuel industry needs to die. Let me tell you this, Joe Biden getting elected is not going to put those glaciers back on Mount Hood that were there from 10,000 years ago, that are remnants of the last ice age, 10,500 random odd years ago. I do believe in redemption stories because it's a necessity. And I do believe that you don't have to be a good person to do good work and to make good trouble. And I did cry when Garth Brooks played Amazing Grace. Because even Kelly, the most pious woman I ever met in my life, the first thing that you ever will find out about her is that she's a sinner who was saved from hell by grace. And there's a spectrum there, right? There's a spectrum and there's zealots everywhere. I don't have the answers. And I know this isn't the end of The Wizard of Oz. And I know that a bunch of munchkins aren't about to come singing about a dead witch. But it's okay to feel that a little bit. Even if it was your abusive stepdad that bought you the Nintendo, it's okay to play Nintendo today, man. It's Christmas. I don't know what to say, man. We're just moving forward, man. One day at a time. One day at a time. Okay, if you're listening to this live, I appreciate you participating. I get to read every comment. I don't get to put every comment up on the screen because that's just a lot of producing for one man. But I do get to read them all. I get to see them all. And they definitely affect the trajectory of the show. So I appreciate you. If you're somebody that is listening to this in a podcast version, I appreciate you. Stuff like this shouldn't just disappear after it's been recorded. It should be held for posterity purposes and further education. Anyways, this was brought to you by an endowment from the Arts Grant for OPB. No, that's what it would normally say on Channel 10. Okay, remember this, yo. Fuck Donald Trump. Fuck the police. Fuck white supremacy. Lester Holt, you're cool. And remember, if I don't say 5,000 G, then that means the monkeys with herpes killed me. All right, y'all. Yes, y'all. And it very seldomly stops. That's what I'm looking for. All right, I love you guys from the bottom of my heart. See you tomorrow. Episode 4 is Thursday. The insurrection war continues.